All right, good morning, everybody. Happy 2022, and thank you for being able to join our first Shade Tree Commission meeting of the year. We have a new face in here. So let's start off with some introductions. I will start with asking Giselle if she would like to introduce herself. And then after she does, I will ask the next person to tell us a little bit about themselves. So Giselle, the floor is yours.
Sit down.
I have to get ready to go to the
Well, get ready.
Giselle might be on mute.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late. I'm actually at work right now, so kind of going to be in and out. I got a staff meeting this morning.
Thanks for joining, Roy. We really appreciate it.
Yes, I missed you guys. I hope everyone's new year was excellent.
Us too, Roy. I hope you had a great time.
Yeah, we had a lot of COVID floating around, man. I got a large house and some people, two of my kids had got COVID and from school and it just like took its time working its way around. Like we were quarantining and running and isolating and yeah, it was a mess for a little bit.
Well, I'm glad you guys got out of it.
Yeah.
So I think we had a couple other folks come in. Giselle, is the unmute button working for you by chance? Jim, hi, hello everybody, and thank you for joining. So I think now everybody is here, and we have a new guest that will be joining us for Shade Tree Commission Adventures. And I think we're having some technical difficulty right now, but I would like to do introductions of Giselle and then introductions of our commissioners. But if she is not able to hear us, I think we should probably hold off on that for a few minutes. So before we do our introductions then, since we do have a quorum, why don't we go through our approval of the minutes? Was everybody able to access the November meeting minutes?
Yes, I was.
Thank you, Roy. I'm going to assume that everybody else was able to.
Yes, good morning. This is Rockweed. And during the course of this meeting, hi, everyone. I'm going to have to jump off for about 15 minutes with a meeting with my son's teacher whenever she calls. Thank you.
Good morning and thank you. All right, Giselle is not back. So approval of the minutes. Do we have any changes that need to be made? Anybody need anything clarified? Do you guys need a couple of minutes to go through it?
I would make a motion to approve them.
I'll second.
Thank you, Rebecca, for making the motion to approve, and Andrea for seconding that motion. Shade Tree Commissioners, if you are in approval, please raise your hand or say yes.
My name is spelled incorrectly. I'm sorry if you want to get that changed in like the first paragraph, if you would. I'm a Bari, not a fruit. So depending on who you talk to.
Thank you, Jim. And with that statement, with the changes made to correct Jim's name, Rebecca, would you make a motion to approve that?
Yeah, I'll approve with the change to Jim Bear's name.
Thank you, Rebecca. And Andrea, would you?
Yeah, I'll second.
All right, let's try that again. Everybody, hands up for approval. If anybody needs to abstain or negative, we'll do that in a second. We got thumbs up and hands up from everybody in attendance. Thank you so much. I do not think Giselle is back with us yet. So at that time, we will continue holding off until she comes back, and we will move on to our report section of our meeting. And we'll start with Mr. Erb. Did you have anything that you would like to share with the members of the commission?
Good morning. Yeah, we are, starting New Year Tree Pittsburgh. Lots of planning going into spring plantings already. Lots of tree adoptions planned for city residents to get free trees for their yards. We are working on a 2020 tree canopy analysis of Allegheny County, so we hope to release those figures this spring. So, just an exciting time in general, and look forward to having those results and presenting to the Shade Tree Commission in a few months' time.
That's awesome. Thank you, Matt. Looking forward to hearing about it. Can't wait to plant things soon. 50 days, my favorite custard place opens, in case anybody was worried. Lisa, did you have anything that you wanted to share with us, or?
Sure, I have some things to share. I can kind of give you a year-to-date of accomplishments that the Forestry Division achieved through 2021. And there are just some statistics I can share with you. The Forestry Division crews performed 557 prunes, 889 removals, 308 stumps, and 57 root prunes. We also cleared over 50,000 linear feet of right-of-ways. That would be along alleyways and streets. We performed 151 prunes in the parks and 307 removals. The one thing I'm most proud of is that we we did some figuring and figured that since January 1st of 2019 through December 31st of 2021, we closed over 6,000 311 complaints that we received, and that was during the COVID crisis with limited crews. So we're really proud of the fact that we were able to get a lot of that work accomplished. We right now are sitting on around 700 311s. As of this morning, we still have about 200 that are still within the year 2020. But, we're hoping to close those out, which means we would be, less than 24 months out from addressing some of the other outstanding issues that we have. So that's, a really good sort of like snapshot of where we're at with that. I also wanted to say that we really right now are just geared up for spring also. We're doing some preliminary planning for Arbor Day celebration that we're going to have with Friends of Mellon Park group in April at Mellon Park. Looking to probably look to the Shade Tree Commission to help support the planting of a tree there for Arbor Day. That might be our official day, and we're looking to the mayor's office now to have him get involved in that event. We've supported the recent storm events. I'm not sure if everybody knows, but it's all hands on deck, and forestry is a sister division for the 5th division. So we support that division with trucks and plows and staff. And we had a good bit of our staff worked, over the holiday. So just everywhere we can to help out, kind of thing. And I do have a request under new business, but I think for right now, we're just working on, getting ready for spring, working with Tree Vitalize crews on, assessments. And that's pretty much it.
Those were some big numbers. Congratulations.
Thanks.
And good luck with the 311s. Here's to spring, people.
I want to help plant a tree.
Oh, you will. I'll talk to you about that under new business. We got some new business, so I'll get to that.
Okay.
Andrea, did you have anything that you wanted to share in the dead of winter? Talk about exciting spring projects?
We're just in planning mode right now. We've got got a lot of work coming up for 2022, and I'm sure a lot of opportunities for tree planting and including trees, at least within some of our projects. The parks tax goes into effect this year, so a lot of our projects are being funded by that. And Lisa and Michael and myself and my project manager, Kara Smith, have met, and we're talking about, just some ways that we can collaborate a little bit more on some of these reforestation projects in Riverview and Frick, where there's been landslides. So hopefully we can, contribute a little bit more there. But I'll have some updates on projects maybe going into the spring a little bit more once we get into construction.
Awesome, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Rebecca, what about you to put you on the spot?
Let's see, we wrapped up this season's worth of greenways work. So we ended up planting 170 trees in the Hazelwood Greenway. We've been doing some debriefing and talking about how to roll it out for next year. So we'll be expanding the greenways program to other greenways or to future phases of the first one. There was also some legislation that passed that moved greenways into parks. So we're working through what that means and which part. It's not the whole of the greenways, it's certain parcels within 6 of the greenways. So we're working on some mapping to figure out exactly what those park areas now look like. What else? We're working with a PGH Lab company called Farm to Flame. They could potentially take wood waste debris from forestry and turn it in via a giant shipping container into electricity, which we're looking to maybe power some EV chargers with to trial it out. So Lisa, I might talk to you and Mike about that. And then the other thing is if there's any trees that came down, I know we talked about some of the ones that are going to have to come down around the reservoir, but would like to talk to you guys about using that for benches and stuff in the greenways, repurposing and reusing it. That's it.
That's really exciting and really neat.
Thanks.
And Brian, Jim, James, does anybody else, Michael, have anything they wanted to share underneath the report section of our agenda? And if yes, we'll do that real quick. And then if not, then we will go back to welcoming Giselle and having her introduce herself, and then we will introduce ourselves to her.
Hey guys, real quick, I have a question that maybe you guys can answer, and I think this is it covers some of our work. Hilltop Alliance was approved to build 30 new houses in Allentown. My thing with that is, with them building that LIHTC housing, should we try to solicit them to see if they want trees on those properties?
When it comes to, I can maybe answer some of that, and I'm happy to have another conversation with you, Roy, in greater detail. But when those houses come through the zoning review process, they are reviewed for landscape requirements. So technically, if they're along streets, they would have to have street trees. If there's parking, surface parking lots associated with the project, they would have to meet the minimum landscape requirements for screening and trees and open space. But also there also may be opportunities to partner with the Tree Vitalize program to help get trees in the ground. They do fund some of these types of projects from time to time. So I'm happy to have an offline conversation with you about it in greater detail, but yes, we can help.
Yeah, I'll talk to you about it. Yeah. I just had the idea that, if we're trying to do that, so that might be a good thing to check into that.
It's a good idea, Roy.
Yeah.
And then also, I do have an item. I know we're bouncing around the agenda. I apologize. But before Raquib and Roy get off, I wanted to bring up something that they may be interested in. So I know they have to bounce off. So for timing purposes, I just wanted to let you know that. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
Kristen, you're muted.
God, the people wish they could do that to me in real life. James and Michael, I see you guys have your hands up.
You're not alone.
James, if you wanted to go next, and then we'll let Michael go. And then if there's anything that we need to vote on before Roy and Quiba jump off, we should take care of that. Sorry, guys. All right, go ahead. There you are.
Yeah, thanks, Kristen. Just wanted to just let everybody know, if you haven't seen it yet, you will see it on your PWSA water and sewer bills. The stormwater fee has gone live.
James,
Can
are you
hear you,
muted?
James.
I can hear you.
You're muted.
I'm having problems with my mic on my laptop, so
Can hear
I have
you
to
now.
lean in. A little better?
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so PWSA has gone live with the stormwater fee. The bill started going out January 12th was the first round. So as your number comes up when your bill gets sent, you'll see the stormwater fee on your water bill this month, and is also being sent out to the stormwater only customers. So a lot of those parking lots and empty or vacant spaces that have impervious area on them that do not pay for water service or have a water meter, they will also be getting billed so that we can start collecting more equitably for those who contribute to the stormwater problem. One of the pieces of the stormwater fee is a credit program, and that credit program encourages people to reduce the amount of impervious area on their properties, especially the commercial properties. They can, take up the asphalt, plant trees, plant grass, do whatever to reduce that amount of surface to reduce their runoff, as well as encourages green infrastructure and other practices to mitigate stormwater on site. So hoping that's going to start to change a lot of ways that people do things in the city as they're trying to take advantage of these incentives around this fee.
Thank you for sharing. That's really good to know. And, I know you guys have been working towards that for a while. So that's great. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's been in the works for 10 years.
I feel like it's like Marty with her tree species inventory that you guys finished a few years ago. So good job. Michael Kelly, what up?
Morning, everybody. Just a couple of quick updates here from the utilities coordination end. We just wrapped up a couple of projects with PWSA in the Thomas and McPherson restoration for their stormwater project, the Kentucky Avenue, and we're going to be saving a couple of additional trees beyond what was originally planned there in next year's work. And the landslide remediation at Horseshoe Bend and Riverview Park, they just completed their restoration there, and the trees look fantastic. They all have individual cages. Everything is set to go. And we've also just completed the coordination with Duquesne Light for their 2022 circuit work for its north side, Carrick, and sections of Lawrenceville.
Carrick. Thank you for sharing. That all sounds awesome. And Jim Barry.
Sure. Good morning, everybody. I think Happy New Year, but almost Happy Groundhog's Day. So we're like 20 days past Happy New Year, but a few items, and I think Michael just touched on them, but start with one. I will transition out of my veg management role here over the year's time frame. I will still remain here with the Shade Tree Commission and be part of the vegetation group at Duquesne Light. So Lisa and Michael and Matt and everybody, right, we'll continue to coordinate. But yeah, just a different step that we're taking here at the light company. So I think Michael stated some of the communities we'll be working in and really looking at, Lawrenceville, Bloomfield, Friendship, where we typically interact with our customers and city of Pittsburgh residents, right? And I think the majority, if not all of the customers previously been notified, but looking to get ahead of these items and either get them scheduled in the front end or the back end of the year, right? So we're ensuring we're not potentially, right, provoking any oak wilt if it's in that area. So, and I think, you know, it's some places, but not all. But we'll obviously be managing specifically for that. Nelson Tree Service will continue to be our preferred vendor in the city of Pittsburgh, which everybody I think has continued to see over the past few years. And we'll bring Brian Bieber on, which will be our new senior manager of Veg. I'll have him join us here for the next meeting to at least meet everybody. And Lisa and Michael, we'll get him down to meet you folks as well, just so you have that point of contact. But again, not going too far, just a temporary role for the next year and a half or so. And yeah, that's about all. And I think, Michael, you noted some of the other communities I didn't touch base on, but again, Michael's looking specifically at some of the proposed removals and conflicts that have been identified throughout the utility space, right, and in the public rights of way. So working closely with both Lisa and Michael to make sure we're doing the right thing there as it relates to the canopy. So outside of that, I think I'm good. Thanks, everybody.
Congratulations, good luck, and thank you. All right, before we move into introductions, did anybody else have anything they wanted to speak about under the report section, or did anybody have anything that we needed to address that needed members to vote on it? Lisa.
Okay, hey everyone. I just wanted to make a request on behalf of Public Works and Forestry to see if the Shade Tree Commission would support the planting of 10 trees this Arbor Day. And this would be directly related to the Equity Street Tree Investment Plan. We wanted to work with each of the neighborhoods and find a location where we could plant a tree to start rolling out that plan. I've been working with Mayor Gainey's office on that rollout. As you know, we were sort of, waiting on some of the federal monies and dollars, and we were just sort of sitting on that, but we were able finally to meet with the neighborhoods, the majority of the neighborhoods in December. And Roy, I think you participated in that meeting, but I was just looking to see if we could get up to $3,000 to plant 10 trees across the top 10 neighborhoods that are prioritized in the Equity Street Tree Investment Plan.
I vote in on it.
Thank you, Roy, for making the motion.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Rebecca, for seconding the motion. Would we all like to raise our hands, thumbs up, or say yes? If you can't vote and you need to abstain, we'll do that at the end. And if you have no's, we'll also do that at the end. So as of right now, thumbs up, hands up for we're in approval. So Jamie, Nazine, Andrea, Rebecca, Brian, Jim, James, anybody else that's voting? Sorry, Giselle. So those would be our yeses. Folks that need to abstain from voting, if you would like to raise your hands now. Lisa Chiaffi abstaining, Matt Erb abstaining. Thank you both. Is there anybody that would like to say nay? No one has raised their hand to say nay. So with the 2 abstains and everyone else voting yes, we would move to support $3,000 to be used for 10 trees, 1 in each city or each neighborhood for the equity plan. That would be very exciting.
And I will report back the locations and species and, the planting events that are after at the appropriate time after they're planted.
And I'm going to echo Roy. I want to plant one of these trees.
Yes.
We'll give you locations.
Hey, Lisa, hey guys, I wanted you guys to know I did attend that meeting Lisa held, and I think she did a great job with these. And they were, everyone that did attend were all in favor of working together with us. So I think that we do got some good grounding with communities.
Thank you.
That's wonderful, you guys. All right, now on that high note, let's bring about our newest friend to the Shade Tree Commission, Giselle.
Hey, sorry about earlier. My computer decided to go a little haywire, but I'm happy to be here and happy to talk about trees with y'all. I'm the new community programming coordinator for DPW. And mostly what I'll be taking on is a bit of an administrative role for the city of Pittsburgh, for the Department of Public Works and the Shade Tree Commission. Now, this is not the full-time position, and I'm mostly helping out, just coordinating things until we're able to figure that out. But some of the stuff that my role will include, if I can bring it up real quick, is just attending and maintaining records of the monthly meetings, going to subcommittee meetings and updating materials for everybody, kind of creating a contact basis for all of the relationships for the Shade Tree Commission, as well as monitoring financial activities and trying to keep up as accurate and of internal and external financial activities like and detailed reports. Sorry, I combined two into one, so that was a little crazy. But I do have some updates on this front. I have set up emails, meetings with PLI, as well as some other functions of where the Shade Tree Commission gets their money. And I'm going into a full analysis as to how this system works and hoping to keep track of everything. It is a bit of a process as I'm trying to coordinate with multiple people and trying to meet up with them so I can just go in like deep detail as to like where does the money go. And if you have any questions or concerns or want to help me in this journey in whatever way possible, please feel free to reach out and email. The more help, the merrier. And lastly, I just wanted to say thank you so much for having me here. I'm so excited to learn more about trees. I'm excited to learn more about your processes. And I'm just here to help things run a little bit more smoothly and see what great things that I know that we can do. So thank you so much for having me. And I look forward to working with each and every one of you.
Thank you so much. We look forward to having you join us at all of these wonderful activities and getting to know you and utilizing all of your attributes and passions. So that being said, the first member to pick on, but not pick on, would be Brian Waliniak. Would you care to share some information about yourself?
Sure. Kristen mentioned, my name is Brian Waliniak. I am an urban and community extension educator with Penn State Extension, covering southwestern Pennsylvania, roughly 12 or 10 counties or so, but mostly with the nature of my work tends to be within Allegheny County. So we do a lot of educational programming and work with municipalities, especially on policy, shade tree commissions, and ordinances.
Thank you, Brian. Roy, are you still available to talk? Would you care to share?
Yeah, I have a few more minutes. Hi, everyone. Roy Blankenship here. My daytime gig, I work for Hilltop Alliance as their community organizer, vice president of Zone 3's Public Safety Council, community board member with Knoxville Community Council, and a great advocate and friend for the trees. So if I'm always community engaged and involved, if anyone needs any help or assistance with anything, I'm always willing to offer a lending hand if I have the time.
Very true. And he knows all different types of amazing sunshine laws and union information. And Roy is always willing to help and is just, it's wonderful. So thank you.
Oh, thank you, Kristen.
Guiber, are you still available or should we come back?
Yes, I am. Hi,
Wonderful.
everyone. I am Raquib Jamu Sabaru. I've been on the commission, I think, since August of 2020. I'm a resident of Homewood, and I am the founder and executive director of the Black Urban Gardeners and Farmers of Pittsburgh Co-op. We are a group of Black growers who came together to fight disparities that we face as gardeners and farmers here in this city and abroad and beyond the city as well. And we have a 31,000 square foot farm called the Homewood Historical Farm. I just moved to Homewood on November 30th, on the block of the farm, 5 doors from the farm. And we have different food access working groups that we started, one in Homewood, The Hill, Hazelwood, and coming soon to Bell Suber. We run with our partners a farmers market. This 2022 will be our 6th year. And we have a free farmers market going on in the Hill and Homewood with our partners at American Heart Association. Thank you. Nice meeting you. And welcome.
Thank you so much, Quiva. I also would like to share that Quiva is doing a wonderful, fantastic opportunity that you'll be going to Great Britain. Is that true?
Oh yeah, I forgot all about that.
I don't know how. Congratulations. That's amazing.
Well, thank you. So
Yes.
I was accepted into a program for farmers called, it's been around since 1947, the Nuffield International Farmers Scholars. It started in England with Lord Nuffield. So farmers, after World War II, so farmers could travel, research agriculture, and bring it back home. And it started here in America in 2015, and I'm the first African-American to be accepted into the program here in the United States. So I'm really excited about it, but nervous. I just wanted to do it. And my research will be on regenerative farming and equity and inclusion. And I leave to go to Britain March 2nd for like 16 days. I'm going to England. But thank you.
That is amazing. I'm so excited for you. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
And on to the next presenter, Matt Erb. Have you heard?
Thanks, Kristen. Welcome, Giselle. I'm Matt Erb. I'm at the nonprofit Tree Pittsburgh. We are a group that was founded by members of the Pittsburgh Shade Tree Commission to extend the reach of the work that was done to city residents and be able to fundraise more efficiently from local foundations to help further our urban forest. So we've been around for over 15 years now, working with city partners, nonprofit partners, city residents, developers, cemeteries, you name it. Anywhere there's trees in this city, we are working to help further our mission and goals to protect and grow the city's tree canopy.
Thank you, Matt. Jamie, would you care to share?
Oh, hi, Giselle. I'm Jamie Holloway, and I live in the Wind Gap Chartier City area of Pittsburgh. And I am the community representative for the Shade Tree Commission. In Wind Gap, we're really excited to be getting a new spray park. So that's one of the things we've been keeping a close eye on. And I'm just here to do what I can for the Shade Tree Commission.
Thank you, Jamie. Nazine, are you able to share? Thank you.
Sure. Hi, Giselle. This is Nazine Nejad. I work with Urban Redevelopment Authority, known as URA. I'm their project architect, and I work with the authority to review development proposals and that we receive, and to make sure that there are conformance with the design criteria and fit within the neighborhoods.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Nazine. Start with the gyms. Let's go with James Stitt.
Hello again, I'm James Stitt. My position is the Sustainability Coordinator and Sustainability Manager for Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority. Also a resident of the north side in Deutschtown, which you can see here behind me. My street as of yesterday morning, still looking this way, but thankfully for the 40-degree weather, it took care of it. Yeah, thanks and welcome, Giselle, and good to see everybody again for the new year.
Thanks so much, James, and rolling into Jim.
James, you might need to get a truck if you're going to live over there to get through the snow. But good morning, Giselle, Jim Barry. Our, I guess, new role will be Senior Manager of Innovation and Affordability at the Duquesne Lake Company. Previously, it was our Vegetation Management Senior Manager. So again, just I'll say the community liaison, if you would, for Duquesne Lake in our vegetation management program to educate on right tree, right place, first of all, and about proper tree pruning as it relates to overhead facilities. We have a lot of, we'll say, incompatible trees in and along the city rights of ways at which we need to manage. I'll say upwards of around 100,000 trees we manage on an annual basis. So a lot to take on, right? But at the same time, being able to educate and communicate with the public and provide them, what's needed, right? And manage expectations. So I'll get my email out there for you. But again, I'll be transitioning out of that role, but we'll still be, what we'll say, very vocal in the role moving forward. So nice to meet you, Giselle.
Awesome. Thank you, Jim. Andrea, would you care to share? I'm sure you guys already know each other, but.
Yes, we met, but I'll recap. Hi, Giselle. I'm Andrea Ketzel. I'm the Senior Landscape Architect in DPW, and I oversee all of our capital improvement projects as it relates to sports facilities, park reconstruction, and play area improvements. So basically anything in the parks. And welcome to Shade Tree Commission.
Thanks, Andrea. Rebecca, I'm sure you know her too, but if you wouldn't mind.
I do. Hey, Giselle, I'm Rebecca. I'm in city planning. I'm a resilience planner. I'll keep it short.
Thank you. And another person I'm sure you know, but certainly not least, is Mr. Michael Kelly, who is, very special to us here in the Shade Tree Commission.
We haven't met because I was out of town when they did orientation. I'm Michael. I'm the utility arborist at the Forestry Division, so I work with Lisa and Derek. I mostly work coordinating with the utilities on removal and replacement of trees for utility cuts and for overhead line management. But I also do a lot of our back-end data processing for cartograph and our GIS programs. So if you need any information, just drop an email.
Thank you, Michael. My screen only shows, a certain amount of things. I think I got everybody. Was there anyone that might not be on my computer screen that did not get to share?
Me, right. But I know Giselle closely.
Yes.
So okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
No problem.
And Giselle, you know me too. So. All right, so back on schedule then. We are on Canopy Impacts number 3 of our agenda. Does anyone have anything they would like to share under? No hands have been raised and it's relatively quiet.
Sorry.
Michael Kelly,
yep.
Go on.
There's going to be a large cut going on. Well, there's currently a large cut going on opposite the Highland Park Bridge for PWSA's replacement and repair of Rising Main 3. We have an arborist on site under contract with PWSA that's doing safety and tree protection there, and we do periodic inspections with them. all of the organic material processed on site will be retained on site for both carbon retention and for erosion control. And there's going to be logs that we're going to find some way to process so that they don't go to waste. But just so that you're aware, there's going to be a big gap forming there, which will be available for reforestation and afforestation over the next probably next year, late next year, it'll come up.
That's awesome. Good to know that there will be such a big space where you can plant some new sweet baby trees. And that everything's being utilized on site. That's really, great for you guys. High fives all around. Congratulations. If there's nobody else that wanted to add under canopy impacts, we will move on to the Shade Tree Trust Fund update, which I have a feeling is going to be pushed into our next meeting.
Yeah, I don't have anything to update. And I know, like Giselle was saying, we're still working on connecting the dots. So hopefully we'll be able to report out at the next meeting.
Yeah, it's always just something I have on the agenda item. So, if anybody, Giselle, this is mostly for you, it's always there. That way, there's always placemaker for it. But there's no rush, because I'm fully aware that it is a challenge getting all of the different folks together and doing all of this investigation work. So thank you. And thank you, Lisa. So let's get on to old business. We have a couple of things I'm sure that we should be discussing under old business. Would anybody like to start?
I have
Jim?
a question, and I apologize. I'm gonna have to jump off here for my newest role in 13 minutes. But when we talk about like our alternative compliance and those dollars and how they feed back into the Shade Tree Commission, we track that somewhere, correct? Like, since I think primarily that's collected as part of the Shade Tree Commission.
Well, the way it works right now is that's enforced by the zoning department. So when there's a zoning development review and there's alternative compliance that's proposed, and for some folks on the commission, just for example, if you couldn't plant a street tree that was required, you have to pay in lieu of to the Shade Tree Trust Fund. And the cost estimate is basically it's $600 per tree for every 2-inch street tree. Now, if that gets approved by the zoning director, the money and the fees are collected at the PLI, which is the Permits, Licensing, and Investigations. They collect the fees. And then what happens is those fees get deposited into the Shade Tree Trust Fund. But currently, there's no way to track where the funds come from. So, for example, if there was a developer named John Smith that was putting up a hot dog stand, I don't know, it may come through as his corporation name or a company name, and we can't really necessarily track it directly back to that person. So that's what Giselle's going to be working on now. The money always gets deposited into the account. It's the tracking of where it comes from and who it comes from that we're having to look at. And so the funding is deposited into the account. It's just basically trying to figure out the best way to track who, what, where, and when. So that's where we're at.
And Jim, real quick, because yeah, for example, for the mitigation fees that get paid for tree removals, I have a detailed spreadsheet of every payment and every check that has come through, and Giselle will be able to back check that with everything at some point. Giselle, surprise, I have a big spreadsheet full of numbers and checks for you to follow up on. But yeah, Jim, we do have a way of tracking it. It's just we're missing the middle step where we confirm that it has gotten where it needs to go yet, and that's what we're going to be fixing. So
yeah. In addition to that, we used to do the same exact thing for the development review money. It would come to forestry over the counter in the form of a paper check. But since everything went electronic, we lost the ability to track it in that way, and that's what we're trying to work on now. So,
yep.
But I'm sure with Giselle helping us, you'll be getting a regular report out.
And that's good, because I was thinking again, if we're reviewing every application, right? And when I say we, I'm thinking of the Shade Tree Commission or Forestry as a whole, right? And I know, Michael, you're looking at our bigger projects and PWSA, whatever it may be, right? We should know that impact and how it would tie back into the Shade Tree Commission as a whole. So that's good. I'm glad to hear. And then my last question, the DOMI policy that was like up for comment last year, has that been like approved and pushed through for what we'll say, like where does that stand?
Is Mike Panzetta on the listening in? He's our guest from DOMI. He's not here today. He would have to provide you those updates. So I can find out for you.
He's not, hasn't been receiving the emails for the meetings. So,
okay.
Kristen, would you be able to add him?
Yes.
In? Okay.
Yeah,
thanks.
I'm sorry. I was unaware that he wanted to do that. And I will start adding him to the meeting, and I will send the monthly invitation to him also. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take everybody down like a different rail there. I just had a few things on my mind and I haven't seen anybody for a while. So I do have to jump off here in like 8 minutes. So good to see everybody.
Well, that's great, Jim. And before you go, because I know you had been interested, you know, like 2 years ago when the, Shade Tree Commission member handbook had come out in financially things. So maybe, you know, in the spring, you might want to have another subcommittee with Giselle and you guys can work on those things together. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, that's the only thing I do anymore anyhow, just work with money. So I'm fine with that.
Yes, join me, join me.
Thank you. All right, awesome. Anybody else want to chat about some old business? So I had mentioned a while ago that I know how challenging it is for everyone to come to our monthly meetings that third Thursday of the month from 9 to 10:30. And I believe in our document, our portion of the city law that we're a part of, we don't have to have 10 meetings a year. We can have a little bit less. So maybe 8. And I know I had mentioned it really quickly and there wasn't a lot of people around, but I just wanted to put that into everybody's head that maybe instead of having 10 meetings a year, that we shave it down a little bit. And instead of removing maybe April's meeting for the people that are planting trees all about that wouldn't be able to attend it, maybe that April meeting could be like a planning meeting for the other folks that are a part of this Shade Tree Commission and have subcommittees. Because I know when you're on a subcommittee, you have to find additional time to work with everybody. So since we already have this mark of Thursdays from 9 to 10:30, maybe we can choose a month or two where the meeting is not a actual full Shade Tree Commission meeting where we're open to the public and viewed on the YouTube, but we're actually working on things that are supposed to make us helpful to the city and to the mayor. Just food for thought. That was one of the old businesses that I wanted to speak on. The other thing was, I know we haven't spoke about our priorities, but last year was a special year and we're super excited to be able to work with our new mayor. And a lot of folks have suggested that we wait on our priorities because we want to make sure that we are sharing our priorities with the mayor and are in line with his wants and desires. And then I know we also have a subcommittee that I am hoping to send out the date for our first meeting tomorrow. That is just for eventually onboarding Mayor Gainey and sharing with him who we are and what we are hoping to make happen. So now I'm going to mute myself and I'm going to let someone else.
I just wanted to follow up on the first thing that you brought up the potential for us using 1 or 2 months for like planning strategy sessions. I really love this idea and would really like to push for it, simply just because whether it is just the financial things or maybe others subcommittee, it'd be really great to have kind of a set time where we can touch base, where we won't have to find another thing in our calendar. And it would give us also a chance to really like get some more feedback on things when it comes to the finance side. So at least from my perspective, this sounds like a really great idea. And while I don't know the process of making it a thing, I just wanted to advocate my support for it and see if that helps.
Why, thank you.
I want to just say too, I think that our legislation only calls for us to meet quarterly. So that really would be even less meetings than 8 if folks felt that that was something that would be more, amenable to their schedules or whatever. And I also want to add too that, and then have subcommittee meetings, however you feel that would be necessary, but keeping in mind that, making sure that if we were going to be voting on anything, that those subcommittee meetings, we would have to do those in the sunshine. So, but I want to also suggest too, for some of the newer participants, that typically what we would do for the mayor is meet with them later in the year, because the mayor, the city's budget schedule as it is, the mayor, October, November, final approval kind of thing. So we would, in the past, have met with him later in the year. So some of those things could be possibly inserted into the budget process, on behalf of the commission. So, but I'm happy to meet anytime. But I also think that, that's just pretty much been our mode of operation, I guess, in the past, is that we would invite him to a meeting. We would do a roundtable discussion, quick 2 or 3 minutes. We would meet in advance to discuss what we would discuss and who would discuss what, so that we can make the best use of our time. So I'm just throwing that out there as another possible way to, get the mayor on board.
Sounds good. Kristen is going to get a onboarding meeting to us. I did email with Kristen in the email. Lori, he does his scheduling. I bumped it up this morning right before our meeting. If I don't hear from her next week, I'm going to add someone sometime next week. If I don't hear from her, I'm going to add someone else on there from his office. So are you saying, like, because it was suggested maybe February or March, do you think, Lisa, it should be later, maybe in the spring?
Well, we're doing some onboarding with them now, and one of those things will involve all of our programs and the Shade Tree Commission in particular, just sort of the mechanics of how the things work. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. It doesn't matter to me when we meet. I just suggested that in the past, to be, we would always have a roundtable discuss. We would have a subcommittee to talk about who would talk about what, because we want to make sure we're prepared. We have our facts, checked, and people at the commission meeting would just, pick a subject, and you would report out on that.
Right. Like we did with Mayor Peduto.
And then if we wanted to make a specific ask, we could ask for something in the budget, and then he still has the time to, add those things in. So, I mean, it could be an early meeting on, just whatever the desire of the commission. I'm just throwing out there what was done in the past, just so you have the knowledge.
Right. Thank you. Exactly what we did with Mayor Peduto.
And I'm just throwing this out there too. Maybe we meet with him twice. I mean, I know he is probably a lot more busy than I am.
That sounds like a plan, though. We can throw that out there once we meet with him initially.
I think by legislation, we're required to report out, and that's in the form of a report or just sitting with him and meeting with him one-on-one as part of the commission. And that's another thing, we could get back to doing that too, just having a full-blown report that we can report back out to him regularly, so it just depends on the desire of the commission. And if that subcommittee is formed, those are things that could be talked about and brought back to the commission for consideration.
Thank you. And Quiba, you said that you will be gone in the middle of March, living it up, learning, and doing some amazing research in Great Britain. So maybe we can just invite him to, the meeting. He can just hang out at our meeting.
That's true. That'll work. And yeah, there's a meeting for March and I will be in, let me see, I'm looking on my calendar and I
St.
believe that
Patrick's Day.
it's what? St.
St.
Patrick's
Patrick's Day.
I will be coming back. We are on St. Patrick's Day. My daughter will be 30 on that day, my oldest daughter. But yeah, I'll be coming back late that evening, so I should be okay. I guess I'll see.
That's a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
I mean, I also think it's going to depend upon the mayor's schedule, right?
Right.
I mean, we
Right.
give him the dates and see.
Would anybody else care to weigh in?
I just want to say, I think it's important that he recognizes the Shade Tree Commission, knows what we're about, before we try to ask him for something. So I think meeting with him maybe twice might be a good idea.
I would second that too. I think Jamie's right. An initial introduction just to kind of give him a heads up that we're out here, because I don't know that with everything on his plate, he's going to be fully aware of the good work we do and the connection to the city forestry and the other utilities and how everything interacts. So certainly an initial introductory sort of here's what we do, and then later on when we come back and say put us in the budget, he'll know why.
I think that's a great idea too. And I know that COVID has made life so different. And I am not I'm not the best at like writing, a biography about myself or anything, but maybe we can try and prepare like a little bio for him too, when he's finally able to come to our meeting. So, he can take a quick glance at it, and hopefully he'll want to, after hearing about how amazing all of you folks are, make some time to join that meeting. All right, is there any other old business that anyone wanted to bring up? All right, then that being said, new business, which I know we already covered one portion with the 10 trees for Arbor Day. Was there any other new business that anyone wanted to bring into this week's or this month's meeting? All right, from those crickets, I'm going to go with a no. I realize I omitted from our agenda the meeting schedule for this year, obviously, because we were hoping to, get everybody's ideas on maybe making some change that, as Lisa said, it is in our legislation that we do not have to meet 10 times a year. I really don't have anything else other than to say thank you again to everybody for doing the doodle poll, accepting, the meeting, and being able to find time to join us today.
I have a small quick question. So if we wanted to, like, let's say, vote on changing the schedule or the amount, what would that process look like?
So actual commissioners that, are a part of the Shade Tree Commission are the folks that are able to make a motion and second the motion as well as vote. So unfortunately, that is not something that you would be able to do for us. But, that is generally how it goes. Somebody talks about it. If we need to find out more information, we can table it to the next meeting. Roy is usually here telling me all of these fun things. regarding the sunshine law, but there are we have to follow a certain set of procedures for anything. And Lisa and Matt had abstained when we voted earlier because we can't have conflicts of interest. So that is, how that stuff works. And I also just wanted to say quickly, I believe in 2020, we had filled out that legal document last as Shade Tree commissioners. I never received anything for last year regarding it. James Stitt, I know you have to fill it out. Did you end up doing it last year?
Yeah, I think it's, I don't know if it's for 2 years or 1 year, but there is a renewal periodically for that conflict of interest paperwork that has to be filed with the state for any public employees or commissioners. So it's certainly something that if you haven't done it in the last 2 years, you probably should look into it.
And I just wrote a note down. That's something that we can reach out to see, about keeping that up to date. So email somebody from the city regarding conflict of interest.
I mean, I can make a motion to consider going to a quarterly meeting or reduce the meetings if you want to have a discussion about it, if somebody wants to second it.
Yeah, hey, Lisa, I was just thinking about this, and we might want to hold off on anything formalizing it. And
can't hear you.
Sorry, we might want to hold off on formalizing any changes to the schedule until we can get sort of like forestry schedule, Tree Pittsburgh schedule, sort of everybody's kind of like, when you're going to be most active in planting and what would be most convenient for some of the people that Kristen had highlighted earlier as to why, we get low attendance at certain periods of the year.
Well, wouldn't that be part of the discussion for the motion?
Feel like it would make more sense to at least get some initial feeling of where we want to go so we know what the motion would be, and then discuss, because that motion could be very specific and then it would turn out schedules don't make sense with that. So I guess maybe the first step is getting that feedback from everyone in terms of what that schedule might look like.
It sounds like Brian wants to do a doodle poll.
I don't know about a doodle poll.
So glad I signed up for that. Maybe a doodle poll or maybe just some other form of doing it, but yes.
Yeah. I can send a group email with everybody, and we can just do it like that.
Yeah, and if you prefer, I could set up like as a little couple survey questions or something if you would like, and then we can kind of more formally collect it or more carefully collect it, and then may next month be able to make that motion then.
Yeah, I think my general idea was just to get it up for discussion. It wasn't necessarily to actually vote on it. It was just for discussion, but that works for me. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And I imagine afterwards we'll still have some hashing out after we make the motion.
Sounds about right. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, everybody.
Let me just say, like, we work all year. It's just busier during the warmer months. The work that we do as the Shade Tree Commission is very important. I don't know about quarterly, maybe every other month. I'm just throwing that out there. That's all. I'm going to mute myself.
No, thank you. That's exactly what this is supposed to be about. We're supposed to talk, share ideas, what challenges, and explore things. So thank you. This is an open forum. Everyone can speak. But now we know Brian Waliniak over here is going to help out and do some doodle polling / emailing, and be on the lookout for that. Thank you. So we'll be sending you guys a couple of emails, one for that, one for finalizing the onboarding doodle poll and whatever else you guys may do. I know it doesn't seem that anybody has recently, but I know in years past, James Stitt would email the group and share some funny memes or, you know, anything exciting. You guys know I like to email the group when somebody does something exciting, has a new park, is going to Great Britain, is getting an electric bucket truck, you know, any of these things. So, you know, we are a group that we can communicate more than just at this meeting or otherwise. That is the beauty of the email. All right, so it is 10:10. We have 20 more minutes if anybody wanted to continue. If not, we can look for doing what Mary Savage was known to do when we met in person.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
Thank you, Lisa.
Second.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So
Let's adjourn.
thank you.
Thank
Meeting
you.
is adjourned. Talk to you all soon. Have a lovely rest of your week. Thanks, spring.
All right, have a good day.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Bye.